All right, this next section is pretty exciting. We've got the two Raspberry Pis connected together. As we've shown in this diagram, they're connected, they're up to date, the networking is working correctly, they can talk to each other. So we have kind of the foundation, but we haven't done anything that's audio related. This is where that's going to change. We're going to install the Diretta software and configure it now. So we're going to start with the target computer. So I'm going to clear the screen so we can get up here. And if I go into menu, there's a audio extra menu, and we're going to go there. And there's Diretta Target installation. That's our next destination. And we'll have a few options here. We generally want to approach these options in sequence. So the first choice is going to be to just install and update the software. And we're going to probably be asked to proceed a number of times. We'll just say yes to all of those things. All right, and we see now that the software is installed. We don't want to install the previous version, so we are going to skip that second option. But we need to enable the Diretta target software. So we're going to say, because right now it says, you can see the Diretta daemons, target daemons not enabled. We don't want it to be enabled, so we're going to say yes, we want to enable it. Now it's enabled, and then the next step, we need to configure an audio card. I've got a little SMSL PO100 Pro DDC. It's a digital to digital converter, but the system sees it as a DAC, and it's card 0. I'm just going to type 0 here to indicate that that's the audio card that we want to use. And then the last step you can do now or later, and that's to actually license the Diretta software. So I mentioned before that there would be a hardware specific link that you would need to click on to enable the software. So if we click on this link, it'll take you to this diretta.link. It's a website that's in Japan. It has a hardware ID that matches your specific hardware. This license, once you buy it, is not transferable to another Raspberry Pi or another computer. It's only valid on that computer, and the software generates this hash. And then we're buying it through Piero's Audio Linux service. So we have this target vendor. You'll put in your email address, and then it'll accept payment on the next page. I'm not going to actually buy it right now. What I recommend to do is to get the system up and running and tested first. Make sure that everything works okay. Maybe listen to it for a few days or a week so that you're really sure. Just make sure you only play 44.1 kilohertz, so CD resolution files to it. Test it, make sure that everything's working good. Once you're satisfied with that, you can come back to this menu and license the target software. So that's what I recommend. This license option here doesn't actually do anything except provide the link for you. So we've taken care of that. We can now get out of here and go back to the terminal and go back to our instructions. So we've kind of done all of that stuff. Now we're on the Diretta host. So we're going to jump over to the host tab here. And we want to follow the same kind of process. The process here is a little bit longer though, because there's more software that we have to install. So we're going to go again to Audio Extra, Diretta Host installation instead of Target this time. And again, we'll have a similar kind of menu that we need to work through. We're going to start with the first one. You can ignore this LDD package not installed. It gets installed later on. This process does take a couple minutes, so I'm going to pause the video and we'll pick up when it finishes. All right, I'm back, and we can see that the software is installed now. We have all the latest different versions installed. We'll have to figure out what's going on here, why there's no sound cards found, but it's probably because we don't have the Diretta driver loaded and the daemon running. So we finished this install 1. Now we're going to install an update. So this menu 1 we've taken care of. We're going to move on to the next one to actually enable that software. And so now we see that the Diretta driver is loaded, the daemon's running, and that it does see a Diretta target now. That's a limited Diretta target because we haven't licensed it, but that's okay. And then we have some configuration parameters that we could edit. But before we do that, we're going to consider or proceed with these in sequence. We want to set the Ethernet interface. This is very important to get right. We have two interfaces here on this computer because we have the USB to Ethernet adapter. This is the one that goes to my home network or to your home network. And then we have the END0, that's the onboard network interface. And that one's the one that's directly connected to the target. So we want to use END0 for the Diretta protocol. That's the one it's going to be using to talk to the target. And then there's some configuration parameters that we could change. I recommend starting off with the default ones, but in my guide, I have some recommendations for some tuning parameters that you could try later on if you wish. For now, we'll just leave these things the same. So there's no reason to go to the edit configuration menu at this time. We can just exit and go back to the console. So now we have the Diretta protocol running on both of them. If I type aplay-l on the target, I can see the SMSL. Sorry about that. I can see the SMSL audio interface is showing up here. If I go onto the host, even though there's no USB DAC or DDC connected to it, because the Diretta protocol is running, it can see the USB interface, the SMSL USB audio device that's on the target. It's able to see that through the Diretta protocol. It's kind of a virtual audio interface. And so it's important that we see output from aplay-l on both of these, particularly on the host. That means that things are working. If we don't see an audio interface on the host, then when we install the Roon software, Roon's not going to be able to see it either, and it's just not going to work. We're going to pick up with step 9, the Roon setup, because it's a little bit involved. So I'm going to stop this video before it gets to be too long, and I'll pick you up in a few minutes.